sweet friends, welcome back. Happy Monday. If you watch this on May 11th, then you have 10 more school days left in Montgomery County, Virginia. So, congratulations, you're almost there. If you are in my class, you received a box yesterday that looks like this, and it has your work for the week. So I thought I would open my box and show you what you're up to this week. So when you open your box, you are going to find, open it all the way up, this bag. Okay, this is for tomorrow. So that's why it's a sticky note. It says, see day 2 for directions. This is the reason why your stuff came in a box this week, because it has a cup and you can't flatten this. So this will be for tomorrow. So let's start at the top. Let's pull out our everyday stuff. There's a letter right on the very front. We are going to try a new writing unit. I know you've been doing letters for about 4 weeks now. You can keep doing that if you want. You can keep writing in your journal every day. That's fine too. But at school, we would have done all about nonfiction. And I feel like some of you are really going to enjoy this. I did put a little note at the bottom that if this is too much, don't worry about it. It's okay. Just write your own thing, right? I broke it down into about 10 days, so the last 10 days of school. So you will not get this paper again in the next packet, okay? Everything you need is going to be in this packet to go through these days. I've kind of tried to make it as easy as possible. It's hard to write these for other people to do. So anyways, so that is your first sheet. Your second sheet talks about plant and animal needs. This is like our last big science unit. We tend to focus more on plants, being spring, but it goes the same way. We did a lot of animal needs and animal cycles at the beginning of the year when we had our caterpillars that turned into butterflies. So you can kind of look through that. For math, we're going to talk about pattern. I know it seems kind of silly that pattern would be at the end of the year, not my pick, but it's what we were told to do, so that's what we're going to do. So it has what your child should be able to do with patterns over the next 2 weeks. Now, obviously, if your child is already very good at patterns, then encourage them to make more difficult ones. Backs of papers are great for that. I also kind of gave you a breakdown of how we would have done this at school. Unfortunately, I am not able to bring pattern blocks and Unifix cubes and all those different hands-on manipulatives that we use at school to your house. I'm so sorry. I have something is happening there. Okay. So you might have to get creative at home and find some hands-on things, especially typically we don't go straight to paper. That is after we have mastered being able to build things with our hands and understand the concept before we go straight to paper. So there's a little paragraph in there about how best to help your child, especially if this seems to be a struggle for them to do. You have ID, word family this week. So you have like bid, lid, hid, bib. Oh, sorry. Kid. I missed kid at the top. Did, grid, slid, and rid. So you kind of know how to do these by now. And you have another journal in case your other ones are all full. If they're not, finish filling those up. You need to write over the summer, right? All right. So that is your everyday section. So let's jump into day number 1. Put a box down here so I have some more room. I think I took day 2 out as well. We just went with day 1 today. Okay, so you are going to have a reading assignment. I do believe everyone has a book today for day number 1. And then you have a short vowel review because, yes, we can forget the sounds our vowels make. So figure out the vowels that go in the middle, mark them off of the flower pot. Pretty easy at this point, hopefully. You have some subtraction at the top, more missing of the short vowels at the bottom. More subtraction. Make sure you pay attention to that symbol. Don't add these, subtract. And at the bottom, look at those cute little kittens. 2 kittens. So what are you going to write about those 2 kittens? The 2 kittens are so cute. I like those 2 kittens. So you can kind of decide. Okay? All right. Writing. Here we go. The next thing you have is writing. It says, today all you're going to do, ignore that, is you're going to pick a topic. Now, it has to be non-fiction. So it has to be something real. And it has to be something that you know a lot about. So I always like to give the example of, what if I pick walruses? I'm going to write a whole book about walruses. I don't know a lot about walruses aside from where they live and what they look like. That's all I know. That's not really enough information to write a whole book about walruses. So I would think of something that I do know a lot about. I could personally write about horses because I grew up and owned 2 horses when I was a kid. And I also taught at a summer camp for a long time, the horseback riding program I was in charge of. So I know a vast amount of information about horses, okay? I also happen to own a dog, so I know a very large amount of information about dogs. So I could write about dogs. Now, if you're sitting there and you're struggling, you can always pick yourself because no one knows you better than you do. So you yourself could be your topic for your book. You can pick your whole family if you want and write about your whole family. You could write about a food group. You could write about fruit if you really love fruit and you know lots about fruit. Flowers. I know a lot of you like flowers. But it does need to be real. So like picking dragons or unicorns. We're going to kind of stay away from that this time. So you want to pick something that is real, so that way when people read your book, they can go out and they can prove what you write. So I can write that dogs have fur, and people can go out and look at all the dogs and see, oh yeah, most dogs have fur, right? Or you could say cats have 4 legs. Yes, if you go out, you can find lots of cats with 4 legs. But if I say a unicorn can fly, I can't go out and find a unicorn and watch that happen. Does that make sense? So that's what you're thinking about today. So you are going to choose a topic. And once you do, you need to tell someone in your house every single thing you know about that topic. I usually say you need to probably fill about 10 fingers worth. Be it like, let's do dogs, for example, because he's sitting right here looking at me. So I could say, dogs are big, dogs are medium, dogs are small, right? It's all about the sizes of dogs. Dogs can be different colors. Dogs eat dog food. Dogs drink water. Dogs like treats. He knows that word. Dogs like to play. They like to run. They like to chase squirrels, right? So do you see I already have 10? And I have way more things. I could teach you how to walk a dog. I could teach you how to train a dog, maybe like how to teach them how to sit. I could tell you about different tricks people teach their dogs to do. So there are lots of things about dogs that I could tell you. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going for. Hopefully that helps the grown-up that's helping you do this. So that's all you're doing today. You're picking a topic. If you're afraid you'll forget, right on the top of this page, keep it handy somewhere because you're going to need it for day 2. All right? So typically at school, we would brainstorm together and make a whole list of things that we are an expert about. To be an expert, you know a huge amount of information. Okay? So don't pick something just because you like it. Pick something that you truly know a lot about, and that will make this so much easier. Okay? All right. You have an editing sheet. You will have one of these every day. So this is, where is the mat? Now, isn't that interesting? Where is the mat? Am I asking a question? I do believe I am. So what would go at the end of the sentence? A period, a question mark, or an exclamation point? hopefully you're saying question mark, and you are correct. That would be what goes at the end of the sentence. Where is the mat? That's a great question. So also look for things you need to correct, because there's another problem in there. Rewrite the sentence, and then you could draw someone with a thought bubble with a mat. Where's the mat? I don't know. Who put it? Who put it somewhere? I don't know where it went, right? All right. Science. The next 2 weeks of science, you're going to be working mostly with plants, and I'm very excited. I tried to pick some fun things that I thought you would enjoy doing at home. So, you do have some pages that a grown-up may need to help you read, but you might be able to read some of it. So the first thing you will need to do, oh, this one has two, that looks interesting. There are 2 bags on the back. One has some beans inside, some dried lima beans, some big ones, and the other bag has the paper. Now, if you're just getting to this today, that's fine. So am I. Look, you are going to need to take these beans and put them in a glass of water, and they need to sit in there probably for all of today. So I'm gonna go grab my glass of water. I probably should have done that before this, but give me 1 second. Okay, so here's my glass of water. Now, beans that we buy at the store have not been cooked yet sometimes when they're hard and dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I gave you a few in case some of them don't work right. And I'm going to put them in my glass of water. And I'm going to let them sit in there all day. And then I will check them this afternoon. Usually it takes about 12 hours before they're ready. So you do have to soak them for a little while. So if you don't get to this today, you can always come back to it tomorrow, okay? So we're going to soak them up in there. Put that over here. So you're supposed to take those apart first, but they have to soak. So you may want to hold on to this because this is supposed to come after you take those apart. So if they're not ready today, then this doesn't take very long. You can work on this tomorrow. But mom, dad, big brother, big sister can help you read through this and help you decide. Okay? The whole purpose of this is you will be able to, once the seed softens in the water, you're not cooking it, right? Once it softens, you will be able to take the parts of the seed away from each other. You will be able to, like when it's cold outside, you wear a jacket or a coat, right? And when you come inside, you get warm. So when a seed grows, it kind of wants to move around a little bit. If I told you had to play all day in your big, fat, puffy winter coat, you're not going to be very comfortable, right? So when you plant a seed, the seed coat starts to get wet, okay? And that allows the seed to be able to push the coat open. That's why we're soaking them. You will be able to take the seed coat off of the seed. It's pretty cool. A lot of seeds have a hard coat, and people will say, oh, it's a shell, like sunflower seeds. You don't eat the shell, you eat what's inside. But it's actually called a coat, and it protects the baby plant that's inside, okay, until it's ready to grow. So you have a sheet right here that tells you the parts of the seed that you're going to be looking at. You're going to be looking for the baby plant, or we also call this the embryo, which is what you were called when you were in your mommy's belly. So we have an embryo. The seed coat is a very thin part on the outside, and all the rest of this inside the seed is called food storage. It is food for the baby plant. The baby plant does not have a mom to feed it. So when it starts to grow, it needs to be able to get food from somewhere until it reaches the top of the soil and it can start making its own food from the sun through photosynthesis. Okay, so this is a good model of what you're looking for when you're ready to take those seeds apart. This is a model that you are going to make. Now, typically at school, we do look at this, we talk about it, and we also color it. And we try to be fairly exact about the colors we use. Sorry, gotta dig it out down here. So, like this is mine, right, that I colored. So many of us do not use booger green. That's what we call it at school, that green crayon that actually colors yellow, but that's a great crayon to use for this. So I have my baby plant here. It is not green inside the seed. It is not green until it starts to grow and it reaches the sun, okay? The seed coat, and then the food storage on the inside. So from here to here, and this will make a lot more sense once your seeds are ready to be taken apart, okay? And I will put a quick video hopefully this afternoon or as soon as my seeds are ready, okay, for you to look at. Okie doke. Now, when you get ready to do your seed model, I did give you a picture of what it's supposed to look like. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I will put it together when we take the seed apart later. Okay? All right, so math today, quick review, fill in your numbers, make sure they're going the right direction, and then fill in the number that comes after these numbers. Okay, so that won't take you long. This is a nice little kind of fun review for shapes. It's called Roll and Cover. So you will need one die for this. Here is what the numbers on the die mean, what you're looking for. So if you roll a 3, you're looking for a 3-sided shape. Okay, so you can use beans, buttons, hair barrettes, rubber bands, puzzle pieces, whatever you have laying around, and so you would cover it and you work to cover all of it. Now, if you want to play with someone and see who can cover the most, because you only get to cover one at a time, because like if you roll 1 and it says 0 sides, well look, there's an oval and a circle. You can only cover one of them, right? You might want to pick 2 different colors of things. So I'm trying to think, if you have pom-poms at home, you might have pink and blue. You can totally color these if you want to. As you roll, you can cover them with crayon. Just remember, you can't take it off if you want to play again. So keep that in mind, but you can play this by yourself or with a partner at home. Okay? So it's a pretty easy game until you start running out of shapes. Like look, if you play with a friend, like number 2 says, remove one of your opponent's pieces. So if you are covering up things, you get to take one of your partner's pieces off and uncover their shape. So that's another reason why you may not want to color them. Number 6 says you have to skip your turn. So hope you enjoyed that. And then, because we're starting to talk about pattern, there is a pattern sheet for you to work on. So these patterns are very, very basic, okay? Patterns that just have 2 objects, 2 pictures, 2 shapes, 2 colors. That is called an A-B pattern because it only has 2 things that take turns, okay? So here we have ball, bat, ball, bat. What would come next? Ball, and then the bat. So they're just taking turns. That's all they're doing, but they keep repeating. My pattern section is ball, bat. Repeat, ball, bat. Repeat, ball, bat. Repeat, ball, bat. Okay? And this one is what? Club, ball, club, ball. What comes next? And what comes after that? So we have club ball as our A-B pattern. Club ball, club ball, club ball. Here we have ball, racket, right? So ball, racket is our part that is repeating. Okay, ball, racket, repeat, ball, racket, repeat, ball, racket. Okay, now down here we've switched. Look, instead of doing ball, bat, we're doing bat, ball. And then instead of doing club ball, we have ball, club. And then instead of doing ball, racket, we have racket, ball. So finish that. If you want, you can draw some patterns on the back and have someone look at them for you. These are a good example, but you could pick like red and yellow and say red, yellow. That's what I'm going to repeat. Red, yellow, repeat. Red, yellow, repeat. Red, yellow, repeat. As humans, we love patterns. Our brains crave them, and we start to notice them everywhere. There are lots of patterns in nature. So as we go, patterns will get quite complex. Now, the patterns we are studying are repeating patterns. There are other type of patterns, but we're going to focus on repeating for right now. Okay? All right, I hope you found all of that somewhat helpful. Sorry about the beans that you do have to soak them. I would have soaked them at home if we were at school and brought them, but I wasn't sure how that would go in your box. Plus, it's kind of cool to see them go from hard to really soft. So that should be a good experience for you and your child to see as scientists. So I'm going to stop it there because this one's kind of a long video, and I will see you all again soon. All right, have a great day. Bye.